So hey Lawn Care Nation, I'm here at my dealer Fraser Valley Equipment. They're on the corner of 134th Street and 72nd Avenue in Surrey, British Columbia. If you're local to the area, this is the place to get all of your equipment for your lawn care business. So let's head on inside and pick up what I've got new for this year. Okay guys, so I just came from my dealer. They pulled up the mower behind the trailer here. So let's check it out and see what I got. Okay, so I got the Navigator unloaded, so let's take a closer look at it. There it is, guys. It's a 2021 Exmark Navigator. It's a 42-inch deck, and super excited about adding this to my mower fleet. You guys know I've been using all Exmark products the last few years. Absolutely love them. So those of you that follow me will know that I had a very similar mower to this one way back when I started my business. In my first or second year, I purchased a 2007 Walker MT23 GHS mower, which looked pretty identical to this one. I bought it at the exact same dealer where I picked this one up today, and it's always been one of my favorite style of mowers. These out front type mowers where your deck is right up front, gives you a clear vision of what you're mowing, and then of course the whole GHS bagger system, because as a lot of you guys know that follow me, we bag everything here in the Pacific Northwest, and I just love these types of mowers. They're unmatched for that type of scenario where you need to bag, and then particularly here in the fall, when all of those leaves come down, being a one-man operation with no employees, this will drastically shorten the amount of time it takes to do leaf cleanups on my own. So looking forward to using this a lot in the coming years. So let's take a closer look at some of the features of this unit. So again, like I said, it's got a 42-inch deck on this one. That's the biggest that I wanted to get. It's the biggest size mower that I can use on some of my properties, and also to be able to fit that and keep my compact little trailer to be able to utilize these style of mowers, the other nice thing with these mowers is that flip up deck. So that's the only way that I can fit that on this little trailer, is to back it in and flip the deck up, much the same as I did back in 2007 when I had the Walker. Was the same scenario. But some really neat features that I noticed right away on this mower compared to the Walker that I like right away. It's got some deck transport levers here. So all these types of mowers have the 4-pin height adjustment system standard, but this one has these height adjustment transport levers. So basically what that does is it lets you set your height adjustment on whatever your height adjustment is. But if you're having trouble getting in and out of your trailer, if it crests at the top part of the trailer and starts to drag, you can actually lift up the mower deck here, and those little straps are gonna lock into place into these pins, and it basically just lifts the deck up in a transport mode to be able to clear over your trailer. So it's got one of those on each side, very, very simple. And then to release it, you just lift the deck back up and use 2 hands, one hand lifting, the other hand just releasing that handle so that you can drop it back down. So that's a very cool feature with this particular mower as well. The other thing I like about this mower here, speaking of in the transport position, let me actually flip it up and show you what I mean. So you can see, very easy to put it in the transport mode. It has this kind of lock, very quick little release here with this kind of eye hook type mechanism here that sits on the deck. You just put it up and put it in the hook to hold the deck in place. But there's actually quite a bit of leeway as well. And one of the things that I like about this particular design over the Walker is, on the Walkers they've got some metal work here, some body work that continues on either side. And what would happen with mine, at least, every time I transported it, because I had to transport it in the upright position, the pins here for the height adjustment would bang into that metal bodywork there, and I ended up having some really large dents on either side from there. So I really like that the Exmark doesn't have any excessive bodywork, really unnecessary bodywork in the front. There's a little rubber flap and stuff, so that's very, very handy. The other cool thing with these types of flip up decks, especially here in the Pacific Northwest where we get so much rain, is the ability to flip it up when you're on a job, to clear out any clogs if you're dealing with wet grass and mowing wet grass. That's a really cool feature that I miss from my days of having a Walker, is in those times where you've got those really lush lawns. You're mowing thick grass, you inevitably will get grass clogged and stuck in the deck. But because you can flip it up on the fly, you can just come in here, clear out any of those clogs, and then you're good to go. The other nice thing about this Exmark version of these types of out front mowers is this reduction fill system. So it looks pretty similar to the Walker, except that these side baffles here are actually adjustable, where on the Walker they're fixed. So on the Walker you're always doing 100% bagging, where on the Exmark you can actually adjust these. So when it's in the open position, it's 100% bagging. The blades are counter rotating, so this one here is going in this direction, and this one here is going in this direction. So all of the grass clippings that are coming in are being cut and then fed into this center chute system, where they go into a blower and then up into the hopper. But with these baffles here, you can see the bolts there. You can loosen those. This pivots and angles inwards, and you basically are closing off this system here. And basically what it does is it reduces the fill amount and increases the mulching capability, which is a feature that I don't believe you can do on the walkers. At least it wasn't a feature that was available back when I owned one. You could only bag with the GHS system unless you did a full deck swap, where you're taking the deck off and putting a dedicated mulch deck on. But there was no way to do any sort of mulching with the GHS type deck, where here with the Exmark version, you can actually just close these baffles and put it into a mostly mulching type mode, and it's just bagging a lot less. So very, very cool feature. Come around to this side here. This is the PTO to turn on the blades. You got the emergency brake there. The operator controls in the center here, and then along the side here we have the battery on the side here. And the other thing I do really like about the Exmark as well is that the muffler is in the back, and it's hidden, it's tucked away, it's not in the way. With the other walker that I had, the muffler was along the side here lengthwise, and it not only blocked a lot of airflow to the engine, but it also added to that heat being alongside the engine there. So having it sort of out of the way in the back, I think is an improvement on the design. Walk around the back here. Open up the hopper. So you can see the inside here, it's all new, no grass ever been put in it yet. So it's got the same sort of idea, where it completely fills the back with grass clippings. You've got a little sensor here. You can hear that clicking. So as the grass fills, once that sensor is activated, it sounds an alarm there that you can see that I'm pointing to. That's right behind the operator, to let you know that the hopper is full, and that way you don't get any clogs through the chute. If you ignore those buzzers, then inevitably you'll end up getting a clog, and you'll have to clear that before proceeding. And then they have the screen on top. That's to allow your maximum airflow, and to clean it is quite simple as well. They just literally lift out, and then slide out. Usually a lot easier with two hands, but at any rate, there's your screen. So it makes it a lot easier to clean. In particular, if you're mowing wet grass, you're going to get that covered and blocking the airflow. So it's nice that you can pull it out, like the walkers are very similar as well, and you can clean that screen off. Slide it back in. On this particular unit, I've got the manual dump, so it's not a powered dump on this one. So you got some handles here. When the hopper's full, of course, you open that rear door, and you're going to come over here and just lift it to dump all of your clippings. Same system that I had on the walker that I owned. So you can see that muffler there, out of the way in the back, and away from the engine, so that helps with the airflow. The other interesting thing is the that they have the engine mounted differently than what is traditionally done with the Walker mowers. So a lot of people think that these are like exact designs, very similar to the Walker, but it's actually reimagined, and I think a lot better in the way that it is laid out. There's just so much more room in here than with the Walker. And you can see the way that they have it laid out there, so that you get maximum airflow going around the engine, which is very obviously beneficial to the lifespan of the engine. The seat, of course, tilts forward, and here you can really see just how much extra space there is here just by having it laid out the way it is. The hydro pumps are up top here, a lot easier to access. The blower is on the opposite side versus a Walker, but just a massive, I believe it's 11.5 inch blower on this, so just absolutely a massive size blower. It's got very similar type of air filter or air filtration, and on this particular unit it's got the Kohler Command Pro CH740, 725 cc's. So just a fantastic unit to be powering this mower. Very easy to access the air cleaner. It's got like a 2-stage air filtration system. Very cool. Very cool, easy to access the air cleaner with the snorkel type system to keep it away from the fans on the engine, so that any debris, dry grass, any of that sort of stuff that those fans may be generating there. You can see a flap here as well. That's to keep that airflow going over the engines, as well as preventing any of that debris from coming up and being sucked in by the air filter. So very cool. See the battery, very easy to access as well. If you ever need a jump start, you know, that's a great design as well, especially in my case, with having you know, the unit being backed into the trailer, very hard to access with the sidewalls. If for example this hopper needed to be lifted up to access the battery, if you needed a jump start or something, you know, that could be definitely a issue. You know, moving forward, if you find yourself with a dead battery in a confined space like that, with here having the terminals you know, easy to access here on the sides for a jump start is definitely a benefit as well. Handy little cup holder, tool holder area, throw your phone or something in there, glasses, whatever you need to hang on to, a drink or beverage if you wanted to. Over here we got the key, we have the forward movement handle, you have your throttle, the hour meter, of course, 0.4 hours on this unit, and then of course your choke. So we got the bubble wrap on it. It's got some airless run flat type tires on the front casters. The other difference here too as well versus the Walker, this one comes with the standard single tail wheel versus the Walker had the two double tail wheels standard, at least on the unit that I had back in the day. So I like having that single wheel versus the two. I remember on the Walker that getting a single wheel was an upgrade if you wanted to purchase the single wheel. Another handy little thing here. It's got oil pan drain right here on the back, very easily accessible. You can see lots of space here to put an oil pan underneath, remove the bolt and drain the oil. The other neat feature here as well, you notice the fuel tank on the side. You can see some hinges here with the removal of a couple of easily accessible bolts. And that one there, and the other one right down there. You take out those two bolts, and then this entire gas tank actually swivels off to the side here, so that you have even more access to the engine for any sort of maintenance or you know, anything that you need to do here, accessing belts, things like that. Top of the hopper. Which connects to the blower there. You can see the fin there on the blower. And so as I had talked about a bit earlier there, so you have those blades there with these mowers, and what makes them so you know, great for bagging is that inherently one of the biggest issues with bagging is then moving that wet grass to your bagger system. So a lot of you know, traditional mowers will have a aftermarket bagger kit on them that has you know, a big long tube along the side or something, and those blades you know, as they're cutting, they're trying to push that grass clippings up through that tube and into the bagger system on the back. A lot of the commercial mowers will sell a you know, side mounted blower housing that attaches to the side of the deck. The nice thing about these sort of out front mowers is that you keep the compact size of your mower. You don't have any sort of you know, tubes or attachments on the side of the deck. You can essentially mow and trim nice and tight to landscaping on you know, either side of the deck. It's got the same equal amount of overhang on the deck on either side. And by having the chute down in the back center, like I mentioned before, those blades are you know, counter spinning. They're timed. You can see that one is in that direction, that one is in that direction. As it turns, that one's turning, so that they're always missing each other. So they direct the grass clippings right to the center. So that's another nice feature, is that on a traditional mower, when you're side discharging your you know, blade on the left, if you're sitting on the machine, is cutting grass, but then it's just pushing it into the blade on the right, and you're having to you know, that blade on the right is having to do all the work of cutting its own patch of grass, but then also move all those clippings out the side and create that airflow to go up the side. So with these types of systems, they're great because each blade is only responsible for the grass on each side and the clippings on each side, and they're cutting those clippings. You can see the baffles here directing those clippings straight to the back of the deck into the chute, and where they are fed directly into that blower. So you've got that 11-inch blower. It's spinning, and it's you pushing all of those clippings straight up here and directly into the rest of the chute here, where they're then evenly distributed inside of the hopper. So the blades, all they have to concentrate on doing is basically just cutting the lawn. They don't have to worry about handling those clippings once they're cut. That blower is essentially sucking all those clippings from the back of that deck, and it's essentially also vacuuming the lawn. And that's what makes these so great, especially for things not only like manicured looking lawns where you want just an absolute perfect looking cut, but also when it comes to those leaf cleanups, because it literally will vacuum all those leaves off a lawn. So that's why I'm really excited about using this type of system. So one of the other things I wanted to point out as well, which is very similar to the Walkers, is the rollers in the corner of the back. So very similar to the Walker type mowers as well, and those are just if you're getting into close quarters, because when you're sitting on these, that back rear end, that large rear end, can be swinging from side to side in your turns, and that just protects it and protects some things. It basically acts like a bumper, kind of like a roller if you get too close to an obstacle. And the other nice thing about this design as well, as I was mentioning, with the battery being so accessible in a tight area, say if you have a flat battery, being able to jump start it with the terminals being accessible. In my case, if I have the mower inside the trailer there with the high walls and stuff, I can get around the side and jump start it. But the other thing too is having the hydros accessible, because in my case, if I have it parked back there with the hopper backed in against the wall, I'm not able to open or lift this hopper to access those hydro pumps. So with this Exmark version, you can see that you have the hydro pumps accessible right here, and you've got the first sort of override right there, where you can loosen it to be able to put the mower in sort of a push position, and then the second one, you can just lift the seat out of the way, and then you've got the other one right there as well. So very accessible in tight quarters if you need to loosen those off to be able to push the mower without the use of the hydros. Let's take a look at some of the specs here. So it's an Exmark Navigator, model number NVS 740CKC42000, powered by Kohler. You can use this unit to mow up to 2.37 acres per hour. So that's pretty awesome. It's got a 25 horsepower Kohler CH740. Kohler Command Pro engine, 42-inch center discharge cutting deck for dedicated bagging with the patented fill reduction baffles that I showed you earlier. Dual hydro gear, 12cc variable displacement pumps. It's got a cutting height of 1 inch to 4 inches in quarter-inch increments, and speeds up to 7 miles per hour. It's got 18-inch by 10.5 drive tires, 7.5 gallon pivoting tank that I talked about, 2-year commercial warranty and a 3-year consumer warranty with a 3-year engine warranty, and features a 9.5 bushel hopper with the deck latch. So there you have it, Lawn Care Nation, my new 42-inch Exmark Navigator. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this mower, and if you use an Exmark Navigator or a similar style type mower in your lawn care business. So that's it for this one, guys. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of the Exmark Navigator.